I mean, yeah, it was a great performance. I was able to get the submission in about 3.5 minutes, and the only reason I was able to do that is because I was just pushing the whole time, going 100%. Jiu-jitsu, we don't have to worry about getting kicked in the head and knocked out. You know, all we have to worry about is exposing ourselves to submissions. So as long as you stay in good position, you're fighting hard, there's no reason you shouldn't, you know?
Yeah, 100%. That's become your signature. I mean, it looked like you were having a good time out there the whole time, too. Like, what was the overall experience of tonight? Just the atmosphere of the Apex, the bowl that you're competing in, the setup. What was the experience like for you tonight?
It's just like very professional. You know, I've been to a lot of events over the years, and I've been competing since I was 6, and I've seen it all. And they just keep it very professional, and they keep it so just boom, 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 boom. So it takes the stress off of you, and you're able just to get out there and do what you do. You don't have to worry about anything else. And then the bowl's dope. You know, because you feel like you're in that, and you really can't see anyone else around you. You see your opponent, and you see walls. So it makes it like locks you in, and you kind of tune out everything else. So it is a very cool factor for sure.
You talked about your lifelong of competition. Where does this victory stand among your wins throughout your life?
This is the biggest one for sure. I've had some big victories like my CGI run, my trials run, my worlds run, my combat jiu-jitsu, but this is for sure the most meaningful victory for me, to like stamp my name in history as like the first UFC BJJ title holder for welterweight is just like so cool to me. Yeah. So yeah, I would say definitely it's number one for sure.
Kade was here earlier. She was talking about just the goals overall for UFC BJJ and growing the sport and gaining awareness. Like, as champion, what's your goal? Like, what role do you play in that? And what is your goal with this platform?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to be a good influence, and I just want to represent to like the next generation and the people that are in my generation. Just like if you work hard and fight hard, you can make a name for yourself. Like, you're not going to make a name for yourself, running away on your heels and not taking risk. Like I said, jiu-jitsu, you're not worried about getting knocked out. You're able to take risk. So yeah, I just want to be a good influence on every other fighter. Just take some risk and go out there and fight as hard as you can. That's the only way our sport is to continue to like elevate.
Yeah, I think you probably walked away as the biggest star of the night, man. People were talking about you for sure. What did you think overall? Not just tonight, but like the whole reality show experience and being a part of that. I mean, what has been your whole impression of this whole thing?
It was pretty cool. I mean, it was a lot of stress. It was a lot of like new things that I'm not used to dealing with. So, when you do things that you're used to, you can kind of calculate it. But the reality show is just like a lot of like new experiences. I've done a reality show in the past, but this one was ran a lot differently. So the nerves, the anticipation, everything like that was just really heavy. So to win this, just all of it paid off, and now I get to like relax and exhale, and yeah, it was pretty cool.
That's awesome. Last thing for me, I know, like you said, you want to relax, enjoy the moment, but we always ask champions what's next. It looks like we already know what's next. I mean, is that 100% the match that has to happen next? I mean, if he walks in the ring and he has a face-off of me, it's probably going to happen, but I'm down to fight whoever wants to fight me as long as they're not boring. I don't want to be the only one pushing forward in the match and trying to obtain something. I want to fight people that are willing to leave it all out there on the mat and willing to elevate our sport. And Renato Canuto is an excellent example of that. So if he wants to have a great match, then I'm down to have it. But there's so many other people in the welterweight division as well that I would love to have a match with as well. So whatever happens, I'll be training hard, and I'll be ready for whoever.
Right here. Obviously, it's coming up on a year from that epic match you had with Kade. One of the ones people say it could be the greatest match ever. So I guess from then to now, just how's your life changed? Because obviously you've done your things at jiu-jitsu, but I feel like that match had such crossover appeal, and then now to be the inaugural champion, just what is basically the last 10 months of your life, man?
Yeah, I mean, I was really injured after CGI, and it took me a while to get back to where I was feeling good. I mean, I got a lot of hype and I had a lot of opportunities, but I never really got to like fully embrace them, because I was just like trying to like get back into a camp, trying to get back healthy. And as a fighter that loves to compete, when I'm not healthy, I'm really not happy at all. Like all of these opportunities and all these cool things can be coming my way, but if I'm not like doing what I love, training and pushing myself, then it's like hard to like enjoy it really. But looking back on it now, like now that I'm healthy and I have the championship, like CGI set me up so well. Like that match against Kade, like really showed people that no matter what, like even if I'm not like putting the best technique or putting the best like thing out, I'm still scrapping, you know. And I think that was a very good standpoint in my life to show people like I'll leave it all out on the mat, and yeah, from here on out, it's going to be the same way.
And I'm sure you've been asked this a million times, but you know, I'm sure there's some UFC fans that didn't watch CGI. Is that a match you think has to be run back? And
me versus Kade?
Probably here.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be super dope if I could fight one of the Ruotolos again, or Kade especially. I have a lot of respect for them, and they're scrappers. Like I said, they push forward, and anyone like that, I'm down to fight. I hope it works out between organizations because that would be so dope. But if it doesn't, it doesn't. But there's so many other people out there that are willing to scrap as well.
Then just last one for me. You're talking about like the pit and the walls and everything. What was the experience like in there compared to the CGI one? Because I think people online were comparing the two.
Yeah, I loved the CGI pit. The CGI pit was awesome. The only thing that I do like more about the UFC bowl is the fact that it's rounded. It keeps it more center, and it keeps it consistent no matter where you go. And then also the fact that it is rounded. I felt a lot of times like when you drive someone, their heels would get like stuck against the wall and then their body would fall. So then you're in like a super, super, super compromised position. But when it's rounded, like you can still fight off of it. So it's not too one-sided ever. I love the CGI pit, and it was a great design, and so is the UFC bowl. My preference is, I would have to say the bowl, just because I'm the champion. I have a little bit of a biasness, you know, but yeah, it's definitely, having walls in jiu-jitsu is great. No one can run away from me, and that's the way it should be.
Just one here for me. You mentioned the good part about jiu-jitsu is you don't get kicked in the head.
Yeah.
You had a Bellamir on the card. Hanado's embarking on an MMA career. Is that right? Do you ever think about maybe throwing some hands, getting some striking working?
Yeah, well, we're going to be eventually moving out here and train at Syndicate, and so I'm sure that my hands will just keep getting better and better, like while training out there with all the really good guys there, like Cody Steele, Aljamain Marab, and so many more. I've had striking experience in the past. It's definitely not a strong suit of mine, but who knows, man? Who knows? If I just keep excelling in jiu-jitsu and keep winning, then it only makes sense to transition over. But we'll see what happens. You know, I'm gonna be training hard and definitely mixing in striking here and there. And if I keep getting better and if I'm confident, and if I get paid enough, then I'm sure I'm gonna do some MMA fights.
Thank you.
Andrew, congratulations to your, right?
Oh yeah.
As we see this continued growth of BJJ, and obviously we talk about that Kade Ruotolo versus you super fight, do you think if we look back in maybe like 20 years, this could be like the Forrest Griffin, Stephan Bonner of BJJ?
Oh yeah. I mean, I've seen a lot of really good matches. Like Gary Tunnon's had some extremely good matches. I've seen Hanato have some really good matches. I've seen PJ and also the Ruotolos in their past fights. I mean, there's so many people that are putting on great matches, but it was never as back and forth like how Ruotolo and I was. And I believe that's what made it such a great match, is like how back and forth it was. And yeah, I would definitely say like 20, 30 years from now, people could look at our match and be like, yeah, that was like really what like made people want to scrap and made people want to go out there and leave it all on the mat. I hope so. I hope so for my sake, you know, like that would be pretty dope.
I was fortunate enough to be there, and I vividly remember how just loud it was, deafening inside the Thomas and Mack. So would you like to see the UFC BJJ side take things to maybe like little arenas like that and just to continue to grow the sport that way?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really like competing in front of like a super, super, super big crowd. It's just like you can't hear your thoughts. You can't hear your coaches. Like it's a cool factor because it's just like you and him. I think like a good like 2,000 like is a good number because you can still hear the intensity of the crowd, but you're not like completely overwhelmed. Of course, if I keep winning and everyone else keeps pushing jiu-jitsu forward, like of course jiu-jitsu is going to get to that point eventually where it deserves those crowds and it brings those crowds, and if that happens, I definitely won't be complaining. You know, I'll be out there hyping myself up while the crowd's hyping me up. You know.
Congrats on the win, but just a quick one. All the belts tonight were not only done in style, but they were finishes.
Yeah.
How much more like happiness do you have that there was no questionable decision? You didn't have to sweat it out like, oh, did the judges see this and see that?
Yeah.
But you cemented your legacy with a finish.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Your guys' voices, it's like it all comes from right here, and I don't know who's talking. But it was really nice, the fact that I was able to get a confirmed win. And I was able to go out there and win and have no like deciding factor. There's nothing worse than like when you get a ref's decision and then you look in the comments and everyone's like, oh, you shouldn't have won. Oh, he should have won. Like the fact that I get to like go home and look in the comments and everyone will probably be mostly positive is like a big relief to me. I try not to look at the comments, but you always do, and you try not to care, but you care a little bit. So it definitely means a lot, the fact that I was able to win quickly and make it decisive.
Sir, congrats and well done.
Thank you.
Andrew, one question over here. Going back to the arena, so to speak,
yeah.
the bowl.
Yeah.
You have the bowl, you have the CGI pit, and then you have your standard regulation mats. And to prepare for these matches, did you get distracted on these angles and these walls? Did you have to change up the way you prepare for these matches and take into consideration the bowls and the curves as you spoke? Did you have to be careful about not being too distracted and getting away from your actual game?
Yeah, I mean, so in IBJJF, you're trying not to push the person towards the edge because if you take them down, they have the ability to just run off. So you're trying to always attack zone when they're in the middle. If you watch wrestling, when there's a circle, you get push-out points. So they're working a lot of their setups off of pushing people. Push, feint, and that really changed my strategy a lot. Like push them, get them against the wall, pressure them, and work my attacks off of pushing. And usually I don't work my attacks off of pushing. I work my attacks off of circling, feigning, wrist snaps. So it definitely made my mindset and game plan change for sure. But yeah, it definitely worked out. Like I have a good style, like pushing someone and moving forward. So implementing that wasn't hard at all.
Good, perfect.
Let's go. Appreciate you guys.